we had Kyler Murray now expressing his disgruntlement with the Cardinals. And this entire situation for me has been a clinic of what not to do. The Cardinals themselves, the Arizona Cardinals, have basically gave a memo. Basically have written a handbook to the other 31 teams in the NFL of how not to handle your young quarterback. Because they couldn't have really so far had an offseason with Kyler Murray wanting a new deal and them kind of ignoring Kyler Murray. You couldn't have handled this so far any more poor. This has been a total disaster, a total train wreck, and there's only one person the Cardinals can blame. It is themselves. Kyler Murray now is at the point where he is either demanding a new contract or refusing to play for the Cardinals. And again, there's only one person, there's only one organization the Cardinals can blame for this, and it's themselves. Because despite the fact that Kyler Murray's on-field play doesn't warrant a brand new contract extension, by right now giving Kliff Kingsbury a contract extension, by giving the GM Steve Keim a contract extension, they have basically put Kyler Murray in a position of power. They said, hey, Kliff, you're doing a great job. Here's a contract extension for coaching the team. Hey, Steve, you've done a great job as the GM putting a team around Kyler Murray in order for us to have success. Here's a contract extension. What they haven't done yet is say, hey, Kyler, you're the quarterback. You have done so far a good job in getting us back on track, turn this organization around from, deadbeat dumpster fire to now at least playoff contender every single year. Here's a contract extension. They haven't done it. And when they did so to the GM, when they did so to the head coach, it is very perplexing and doesn't make any sense why they haven't done so yet for the quarterback. Now, I will say, I do think a deal is going to get done this offseason. I would be shocked if Kyler Murray enters week number 1 without a brand new contract extension. So I don't think that he'll hold out. I don't think we're going to see this, have a training camp drama to it where we're going to be sitting there and watching Kyler on the sidelines and hear his frustration or get to the point where he, tries to force a trade or is traded. I do think in the end, by the time week 1 of the 2022 season comes around, Kyler Murray will be with the Cardinals and will have a brand new deal. But what I don't understand, what I don't really get is why the Cardinals are making this harder on themselves than it has to be. They should have already seen what happens in their own division when you kind of piss off your quarterback for no reason. Ask the Seahawks right now and Russell Wilson, who the Seahawks kissed away a top 5 quarterback in his prime because the head coach was outdated and really didn't understand 2021 football and instead made Russell Wilson's life harder, not easier. The Cardinals right there should have learned that lesson. Maybe it's worth kind of catering to our quarterback. Maybe it's not worth trying to get in a fight over dollars and cents and instead make sure he's happy so that he doesn't force his way out and we're kind of left, with nothing in our hands standing there, and now the Seahawks have no choice but to rebuild. Like I will say, we are starting to see a trend now in the NFL because outside of just money, right? As we know, a lot of players are still motivated by the money. They'll go wherever the most money is. But you're also seeing now a lot of players prioritize happiness, wanting to be with that certain team, wanting to play for a certain head coach or a certain GM or a certain city or quarterback. We are now starting to see more and more players emphasize and prioritize happiness, either equal than or sometimes even greater to money. I'm going to go somewhere where even if I get less money, but I'm going to be happier. We saw it with Davante Adams. Davante Adams left more money on the table in Green Bay. He could have signed and stuck with the Packers and gotten more money, but instead said, you know what? I don't like the way they've been treating me. I'm not happy with the organization and the lack of attention they have got. They have, paid me the last year or so. I think that I am, that they have taken me for granted at times. So I'm going to go to the Raiders. I'm going to sign for less money, but I'm going to go to a place that I know wants and appreciates what I bring to this team. So you have the latest example of Davante Adams leaving money on the table in order to stay or in order to go to a team that appreciates it. He didn't want to be in Green Bay, not get the respect he feels like he deserves, but stick it out because of the money or stick it out because he's still playing with Aaron Rodgers. Davante Adams prioritized his happiness. And now that trend is starting to, I think, become more prevalent in the NFL, this is what the Cardinals have to watch out for. And this is why I don't understand why the Cardinals are playing this unnecessary game of chicken with Kyler Murray.